Good morning, friends. It's good to be with you again as I continue to post live stream on Facebook to our page at First United Methodist Church in Moorestown, or First Church as we refer to ourselves. Hope you all are doing well as we continue to navigate our way through the COVID-19 situation. I don't like to call it a crisis. I'm sure it is a crisis, but there's something very psychological about calling it a situation, I guess, and that's what I try to refer to it as. We had a wonderful meeting virtually last night of the church council led by Patty Gritson. We had a good turnout on Zoom, and we discussed an awful lot of things that are going to be coming up in the church, plans for the future as we continue to think about how we're going to make our way through this time with such uncertainty too. Quite frankly, we're not sure about Holy Week services or Easter services, but we are making plans for that time. So you'll be hearing more about that as the days go on, as we get closer. But there will be services one way or another during Holy Week and Easter. We hope you can all tune in. We'll make that available to as many people as possible. So another thing that was really important that came out at our council meeting on Zoom was the fact that we need to look out for especially our older friends and neighbors. Those who are part of the church, for sure. Those you know, please stay in contact with them, but also those who are just in your neighborhood. So connect with them. They're going through a really difficult time. Of course, they're in that vulnerable category, so reach out to them and give them a phone call, a word of assurance. If they need something, perhaps you can pick that up and drop it off at their front door. We don't want to have contact with them, of course, because of the virus infection possibilities, but any way that you can reach out to them I think would be helpful. And a repeated theme that we're hearing from many of our folks at First Church who are in that age group is they're quite frankly afraid, and who can blame them for being afraid with all the uncertainty that's going on. So the word I want to toss about a little bit for just a moment is that word fear. And we find that word fear in so many different places in Scripture. I just want to share with you something that jumped out at me this morning from the prophet Isaiah in the 41st chapter in the 8th verse, beginning in the 8th verse. Isaiah writes, "But you, Israel, my servant, Jacob, whom I have chosen, the offspring of Abraham, my friend, you whom I took from the ends of the earth and called from its farthest corner, saying to you, you are my servant, I have chosen you, and not cast you off." And here's verse 10, "Do not fear. Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be afraid, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my victorious right hand." The word there from Isaiah really makes it plain that over all this that we're going through, God nevertheless is with us. And we're going to go through some difficult times for sure, but God will lead us through. As it says in the 23rd Psalm, God walks with us through the valley. We don't stop and stay there. God leads us through the valley to the other side. And the important part is God's presence with us. And we have to hold on to that during this time of the COVID-19 situation. We have to hold on to that fact that God walks with us. As I said, fear is throughout the Bible, and I always thought that it couldn't have been a coincidence that fear is in the beginning of the story with the birth stories of Jesus in Luke's Gospel, especially where the shepherds are in the field, and as the King James Version says, when the angel appears, they are sore afraid. Fear is the pervading sense there. And then at the end of the story as well, disciples come to the tomb, Mary comes to the tomb, and there is this sense of fear and dread. But overcoming that is faith and the reality of God nevertheless walking with us. So faith is actually a cure, a vaccine, if you will, for fear. So we keep the faith, we keep moving forward, we take precautions, we are careful, but yet we have that sense of faith about us. So I want you to keep that in mind today. One word that was given by Steve Farrar last night at the council meeting was fear not. We have to remember, fear not, for the Lord is with us, God is with us, the Spirit is with us. So I want you to take that word with you today, and have a blessed day again, and hopefully, again, God will bless you in a way today that maybe you won't expect. So be on the lookout for that. Peace, and I will be checking in again at some time in the near future. Be well.